Flylady Diane here. Welcome back to the Flylady's 31 Baby Steps. We're on day 4. Now, if you have just discovered these videos, if this is the first one that you're seeing, go back and watch the very first day, day 1, day 2, day 3. There's no problem, you're not missing anything, but the main thing with the Flylady 31 Baby Steps is that we need to go through every single step. So we'll be here waiting for you when you've gone through the first couple of steps. The trouble is when we are looking for peace and we're looking for the system that's going to change everything, we tend to cut corners, and there's nothing difficult about the system, but it's really important that you take each step seriously. So if you haven't done the first few steps, go back and look at those videos. If you have been doing it, well done. We're on to day 4. Now, was your sink shiny when you went to bed last night? And what about your shoes? Have you got your shoes on? I've got mine on. If you haven't got your shoes on right now, press pause on this video and go and get them on, okay? And I'll wait for you. Boom, boom, boom. Has everybody got their shoes on? Good, okay. Day 4. What we've been doing up to now is shining our sink before we go to our bed, and we don't need to shine it and scrub it and everything. We're just drying it out before we go to bed, excuse me, making sure there's nothing left in it overnight, so that when we come down in the morning, we're not met with, you know, that horrible dishwater and nasty, gross pots and pans. We're just making sure there's nothing in the sink before we go to bed. The other part that we're doing every day is as soon as we get up in the morning, we're getting dressed to shoes. Remember, not flip-flops, no bare feet. And the thing is, you don't have to have your shoes on the whole day. Here in Denmark, we take off our shoes when we come in the house. But I have these ones. These are just a pair of old sports shoes that I had. And I just, you know, cleaned them up, give them a quick wash, dried them off. And that's what I use indoors. So you don't need to get anything new, just make sure that you have some kind of good shoes on your feet so that you can't kick them off. Because as I said before, when you've got your shoes on, it says to your head that you mean business and you're ready to get to work. So we're shining our sink, we're dressing to shoes, and yesterday I said that, I don't know if you remember, we were writing little post-its, sticky notes, you know, keep clear, keep clean. You can put it beside the sink, and that will be a reminder to you to keep that area clean, and also to the rest of the family, because hopefully they've noticed some changes. And also, let me just grab my sticky notes. There we are. You can do the same and say dress to shoes, put it on the bathroom mirror, put it beside your bed, put it on the back of your bedroom door, somewhere that you're going to see it. Now, why are we using these sticky notes? These are reminders to us, and this is going to be the start of your control journal. Now, what is a control journal? A control journal is just going to be a small file folder. We may use an app to do it, whatever, but we'll get into that later. This control journal is going to be some small routines for you to use every day that are going to keep you on the straight and narrow. And you're going to get rid of the clutter in your house and the clutter between your ears. Now, the thing of shining the sink and dressing to shoes, maybe you don't want to do it. All we're asking you to do is just do it, okay? Just do it. You don't have to want to do it in the beginning. It's like brushing your teeth. Do you remember with, you know, kids, they do not want to brush their teeth. But what happens if you don't brush your teeth? You know, your teeth fall out and it costs a lot of money to get them fixed. It's the same with the house and with yourself. You've got to look after the house and yourself. So all we're doing is a small routine every day. We're shining our sink at the end of the day, and we're getting dressed to shoes in the morning. And that's the beginning of your routines. We're going to have a morning routine and we're going to have an evening routine. And later on, maybe you even want to put in an afternoon routine, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just keep going with routines that we have. And that's all we're doing right now. We're just focusing on this job. You don't need to worry about anything else. And I mentioned yesterday about the timer. I said to you yesterday, if you go onto your smartphone on the computer, make sure that when you have playtime like that, that you put on the timer, say for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. When the timer goes off, you come out of the fog of the internet and your smartphone and go and do something else. Because we lose so much time by not being focused and by getting caught, especially by the computer or your smartphone. So keep a timer beside you or use the timer on your phone. Set the timer on your phone to make sure that you are not, playing games, checking out the internet, because, before you know it, an hour has gone and nothing has got done and you've got bad conscience. So day 4, Flylady Baby Steps, you're continuing with the little routines that you've already started. And these sticky notes, soon we're going to write them down somewhere else, and those are going to be your control journal. I think that's all I had for you today. So one other thing is, if you are reading the Flylady's main Facebook page, why don't you put a picture in there underneath in the comments of your sink and your shoes. I would really love to see them. And I shall be back with you tomorrow. So this is Flylady Diane signing out from very grey Copenhagen today, and I shall be back with you tomorrow where we will be taking the next step. Okay, hang in there, you can do it, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.